Sports.
And welcome back.
Whoa. Kev, this ain't the bounce.
Oh, wait. Who's
Kev,
the host? It's not Han. Han shot
this
first?
Who hosts this? Do we need like a mediator?
Hmm.
They're going to allow us to do this? Like, that's kind of scary.
You do the audience. This will be your show. I'm your guest.
All right.
Yeah, you do
welcome
this.
to the first ever bite-sized NFL mashup, I guess is the best way to put it.
Bite-sized AFC South.
I am not your host, nor is Kev, but we are doing the show today. We've got, Kev, game of the century?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Look at this. Battle for first place?
It is, okay, that is a fact. It is battle for first place. We've got Titans, run the South, at Colts this Sunday at Lucas Oil Field. We will both be there.
That's right.
We are both going to be there. That's fun.
We even have a mediator.
Yeah, we do. Nate's going to be there, which is a problem because he's just going to pick on one of us.
Yeah, whoever's losing is in for a long
Whoever's
day.
losing is not going to have any fun. So, Kev, I didn't plan a script for this. I know you didn't either because you thought this was the bounce. So that's a problem. I am winning. Like, I did bring some muscle. I got Darth Vrabel back here. He's back. Darth Vrabel made his return. He's got his sun hat on.
Oh, you
I
can't
or may
see
not.
my Colts helmet back there.
I may or may not have that hat with me this weekend. I haven't decided yet.
Don't worry. I got Jim Harbaugh right here. It's not Andrew Luck, folks. That tells you how long I've been a Colts fan.
Exactly. Right, he didn't retire early on you. Okay, Kev. Titans coming off a huge win last week, beat their arch nemesis, the Cincinnati Bengals. In my opinion, it's 2 years too late. I would rather us have won in the playoffs 2 years ago, but what do I know? Smashed them 27-3, Tennessee's best game of the season. Joe Burrow doesn't look right. That's a whole other story, but Tennessee looked really good last week. And what's going on with the Colts? I told you pre-show I have watched zero of the Colts because I live in Indiana. I can't stand them.
Yeah, you're surrounded.
They're everywhere.
I get it as a Notre Dame fan in Columbus, Ohio.
Ooh,
I get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel for you. So the word on the street with the Colts is, so we'll start just with the Rams game. All right. Started out badly. The Colts were behind. I believe they're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
The defense stood tall enough, and Anthony Richardson kind of led the team, put the team on his back in that fourth quarter with some extending some plays, connecting on some passes, and, all the stuff that, to be honest, even I was nervous about early on. We were nervous about accuracy issues coming in. He made some incredible plays. And for the second week in a row, this Colts team came from behind in the fourth quarter to force overtime.
Back-to-back overtime games.
Yep. Now, this one didn't work out in their favor, which is unfortunate. But, I will say this, as a longtime Colts fan, this went from a team over the last 2 years. We were used to watching this team blow leads in the fourth quarter. So it is so refreshing to see. Not only, this is the second youngest team in the NFL, by the way. The fact that they're 2-2 right now and 2 weeks in a row have climbed out from very negative situations. Yeah. Okay, that Ravens comeback wasn't quite the same as far as them being down on the scoreboard, but Gardner Minshew had just walked out the back of the end zone for a safety. The Colts were down.
Dan Orlovsky did.
Yeah, he pulled a Danny O. In much more dire circumstance. I still think Dan's is worse, but nonetheless, the Colts were down 3 with a minute and some change, and the Ravens messed up. Well, we'll be honest, we got to call them straight, right? The Ravens gave the Colts a gift by screwing up their clock management there and giving the Colts a chance. But hey, all you can do is capitalize on that chance. And we have a young team led by a rookie quarterback who only played 13 games in college. And he is now 2 weeks in a row led come from behind drives in the fourth quarter to push overtime. So I couldn't be happier about a team that's supposed to be on the rebuild, a team that I predicted to win 6, maybe 7 games, that's currently at 2-2, tied atop the division. they've got Colts Nation believing like, oh, now this is a must win all of a
Oh,
sudden, right? Now, all of a sudden now
all of a sudden.
we're playing for playoffs and I'm over here on my Jim Mora tip saying playoffs.
He's got to win a game.
Yeah, we've won 2 games. Let's calm down. But I'm very
The
excited.
South is a crapshoot right now. So this is Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't played a South game yet. We played all outside division right now.
Ooh, okay. So you guys are stepping in. The Colts are 1-1,
Mm-hmm.
lost to
Yep.
the Jaguars, beat the Texans, who currently feel like they are the best
Yeah.
team in the division because they ran into a hapless Steelers team.
Yeah. That
Uh,
Steelers team's no good.
yeah, that
I
team.
do like CJ Stroud. I don't like how good he is he's good. I don't like that. I don't like that for the rest of the South.
I agree. It makes me cry. I was mocked when I first joined the Horseshoe Pride podcast because back then in week 7, when the Colts were a 500 team, I was saying, hey, CJ Stroud's the guy of the future. I hope the Colts can land him. Back then, they didn't think we'd be bad enough.
Yeah.
Turns out we were almost bad enough to get him. I think if you were to redraft, CJ
He
would
might be
probably go
one.
number 1.
Yep, I think so too.
I think a lot more people would be higher on Anthony Richardson, myself included. I was 50-50, I was 60-40
Yeah,
maybe
when they
between
took
him and
him, I
Will
mean,
Levis.
they were happy they took him, but there was a lot of skepticism. Like, ooh, that's a big word, Schmitz. With that pick,
Yes.
there was a lot of question marks there, and I mean, I just want to. He's fully healthy from the concussion, right? That he suffered a couple of weeks ago. Like, there's
Yep.
no lingering wood good there.
That was a self-report on the concussion. So
Oh, that's right. He got tackled in the end zone, right, or something dumb.
yeah, he didn't finish a run. He didn't see a safety and kind of slowed down on the final couple of yards of a 20+ yard touchdown run and got shoved. And
Mm-hmm.
the back in his tumble into the end zone, the back of his head hit the ground. And he actually played the
Okay.
next drive, the very next play that he played. So that was a touchdown. So he had, a defensive drive where he was on the sideline. He came out for the next drive. On the first play of that drive, he actually was rolling to his left and got pressured and had the wherewithal to put the ball in his left hand and throw it out of bounds with his left hand to avoid the sack. So I would say he was fine even then.
Mm-hmm.
He checked himself into concussion protocol, and this Colts team, I believe, having learned their lesson with Jonathan Taylor, knowing that this is a rookie quarterback, they
Yeah.
took an extra week and they let Gardner Minshew start the next week. They kept him in concussion protocol.
Won.
He was back last week and he was good to go. And yeah, and they won with him.
Titans are
And then you
pretty
got guys
notorious for
like
that.
Colin Cowherd who don't watch all the games say, oh, it's going to be real hard for the Colts to bench Gardner Minshew. He's won both their games. Tell me you don't watch the team without telling me you don't watch the team, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Tennessee's really notorious for that too. They keep guys out for concussions forever, which is a good health and safety thing. First thing that jumps off the page here for me, 57% completion percentage. Yeah. That's yucky. It's not good.
It's not great. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely not all sunshine and rainbows. It's the dual threat is what's getting you right now. But also
like he
some
can
drops
destroy you with
are
his legs if given chance.
yeah. And there are drops in
I
there
saw
as well.
you were posting some like I'm not here to bash the Colts as much the whole time. I will. I can't speak there. It's late on a Wednesday, but you posted some stuff where there were some pretty good throws that just weren't caught. Tough throws in tight windows, and but he's going to beat you. He's going to beat you with his legs.
Exactly.
No questions asked. And I think Titans have a horrifically bad secondary. They were great somehow against Burrow last week. Burrow and Chase, something's wrong with that team. They're broken. But the Titans secondary is bad. And I fully expect Tennessee to rush 4, leave a spy out there, leave multiple guys, and then force him to beat them with his arm. I think that's what you have to do.
I agree. I'm worried about that 4 too, because you got a couple of guys up there.
That 4 is nasty.
Can get pressure, especially if the injury report holds up. So the Colts, they were missing Bernard Raymond last week.
I saw.
I'm gonna pull it up. They've been a
Let's
little
talk.
banged up
Yeah.
on the O-line. So let's see. Right now, as far as Wednesday, Quentin Nelson's been on the injury report with turf toe for 3 weeks now. He's gonna play.
It's because the stupid Colts field that gives everybody broken feet.
Exactly. Get them all grass. Get out of here. These you billionaires, you have enough money. I don't care how much it costs.
Yes.
It's a drop in the bucket. All
Yes.
grass.
Stop
Get
getting
out of
guys
here.
hurt on turf.
100%. Bernard Raymond, who I mentioned, was a rookie last year. He has grown. He's looking good. We were worried about that left tackle position last year. He's actually looking pretty good. He's in concussion protocol. He did not practice. Wednesday was a walkthrough today. So the Colts injury report designates whether or not they would have practiced. So he would not have
You guys
practiced
walked it.
today. Ryan Kelly actually would have been a full participant, but the weird thing is he's coming off a concussion, and his twin children, who were born at only 27 weeks, are coming home this week. So I'm going to be honest with you, James. I
Yeah.
think the Colts are going to keep him on concussion protocol, despite
Yeah.
popular opinion. Okay, this franchise actually does care about its players. I know there's this big narrative that Jim Irsay would rather pay money to Free Willy than to his top running back, but despite what you might have heard, this franchise cares about its players, and it would be very much be a Jim Irsay, Chris Ballard Colts move to say, hey, if you want to stay at home with your wife and twins this week,
You should do that.
you've still got that concussion, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan Kelly, I was shocked to see him listed as a hypothetical full participant in the walkthrough today. If he plays, that would be amazing for the Colts, but I don't think it's going to happen. I expect to see Nelson. Raymond might be out. We saw
Raymond
Freeland
might be the guy.
take his spot last week. Aaron, it's going to be rough. It's like, oh, well, we had Aaron Donald last week. Well, James, who are the two guys you guys have up front that might cause the Colts some problems?
Well, one of them is arguably the second best defensive tackle in the league, and Jeffrey Simmons behind Aaron Donald, and he's been a monster this year, and he's healthy. His ankle isn't busted up. He's been a terror. There's a couple of them, but the other one that Colts fans know and is a problem, always a revenge game, is Danico Autry.
It hurts me every
he's
time.
Been a terror. What? And it wasn't the Colts. He was just cast off by another team too before the Colts. It's so weird.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it the Bears?
Let's look. Yeah.
I want to say it was the Bears, which we can all on Sunday, you, me, and Nate. Well, Nate and I can lament our loss, and you can rub it in our faces, I guess.
Let me pull it up. I got to look because he's been unbelievable for Tennessee since they signed him a few years ago. Just unstoppable.
I liked him for the Colts too. Like that was one I think most of Colts Nation was sad. Definitely, especially to lose him in division. That was not one you wanted to see come back.
Division hurts. Okay.
It's one thing to lose Jerry Hughes to the Bills and then have him start doing some things when that one was crazy because it was a freak accident. He falls down the stairs and breaks his skull and then never quite catches on. And then when he finally comes,
Oakland.
Oh, Oakland was where Autry was.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so Nate won't be able to rub anything. Good. Well, it'll be Sean, but luckily, Raider Nation doesn't have much to talk smack about right now. So, he'll probably sit out. So you'll just get to rub it in my face that you have Danico Autry now. So yeah, I'm worried about what you guys can do to our offensive line.
Our front line. Then you got the one guy. We've got a guy on injury report that I didn't expect. T.R. Tart, who's the other big guy in the middle, who's been really good. He's on there. He didn't practice today with a knee. I don't know anything about that. That's the first I've seen. Harold Landry for us is still coming back. He's still not fully healthy from that ACL injury. He's getting there. We signed a couple linebackers that I really like, and Key and Alshire, that have been fun. Travis Gibson got his first sack last week. The cast off from the Bears. If he gets a sack this week, we're gonna light Nate up, because they just cut him and didn't want him. Tennessee jumped on that. Anybody else? So we talked about your line. Mo Alley Cox what's the deal with him? Is he playing or is he not?
I think he's going to play. The tight end has been an interesting situation for the
Mm-hmm.
Colts. They have 5 of them,
Still
but
got
none
him,
of
huh?
them. Yeah, well, none of them are healthy at the same. Jelani Woods is looking to come off of
Oh yeah.
IR, and so Will Mallory. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but Ogletree got hurt in week 1. Kylan Granson was hurt in week 2 or 3, and so now Mo Alley Cox might be hurt. For
Yeah.
what it's worth, I prefer Granson and Ogletree right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Alley Cox, it's kind of a running joke in the Horseshoe Pride show that Mo Alley Cox is somebody that they can't believe he's still on the team. I still got a little bit of
Yeah.
love for him, but he might not play. The other ones I'm looking at, the 2 that concern me the most on the defensive end are
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner
Some
and
big
Shaq
names right
Leonard,
there.
the 2 of the biggest. Leonard has been on a bit of on a bit of a pitch count, is what I meant to say. I absolutely did not mean to call him a bitch.
A bitch of a pit count.
Yeah, easy for me to say. But the question is he on this snap count because of injury recovery or because he just hasn't looked great with the snaps that he's gotten?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Zaire Franklin is a freak of nature and
Yeah.
has filled that spot amazingly and is on pace to once again be at the top. I mean, this is a guy who led the league in tackles most of the year last year, finished in the top 3, set a Colts
Yeah.
franchise record for tackles, and almost every Monday is getting drug tested by the NFL. So,
Yeah, just like
it,
AJ Brown.
yeah,
Rest in peace.
it makes the loss of Shaq Leonard a little easier to obtain
Yeah.
or to deal with.
He
So
hasn't played
does
much
having Grove Stewart. No, he didn't play
at all
hardly at
last year.
all last year. He came back and then broke his nose in a freak accident
And that was
and
the
was
Titans
gone.
game. That was the
Hmm.
Titans game when he broke his nose, broke his face mask. He
Yeah,
just
that
got
was
smoked.
brutal. Just the
Yeah.
bad luck that he has
Yes.
had. And then also Taekwon Lewis with the knee injury did not play. So which isn't as big. Like Taekwon's more of a depth piece on the defensive end, but if Buckner's also hurt, then we're really thin up front. If Buckner
And
and Lewis are out,
that's
um,
not good for a team that's got the old King coming off his first 100-yard game of the season.
and we're already not. See, some Colts, some of my own brothers and sister over on Horseshoe Pride would disagree with me here. I don't think the Colts are great against the run. I think they are when they are great, it's because Grover Stewart gets amazing penetration, and then Buckner and Franklin can clean it up. So
Yep.
again, I'm without those guys. If they're not intact up front, yeah, I do worry about Henry
Mm-hmm.
being able to have a big game.
Yeah.
But honestly, I, I'm worried also about the secondary with the Colts because Juju Brents has played well, but now they have an injury to Dallas Flowers. So we're
Mm-hmm.
looking at maybe Daryl Baker
They had
Jr.,
the guy
who
get
was
suspended before
benched.
the season.
Yep. Yeah. Who's, playing. He's on the Eagles practice squad
Mm-hmm.
now. So, I mean, honestly, I think if the Colts had known
Yeah.
things would
He
play
won't be
out this
playing for them
way,
next year.
they might have just held on to him if they'd have known. But
All right.
yeah,
Just kept him. Uh, the one thing, like, Tennessee's offensive line has struggled a lot this year, really bad. And this week they're scheduled to get, it looks like 2 starters back. The big one, number 1, is Peter Skoronsky, first round draft pick, who was really good for him for 2 weeks. I think he played the first 2 games and then had emergency appendectomy. His appendix burst. And he ended up in they caught it at the hospital, which was fantastic. That's a scary thing. But he's missed 2 weeks. He was a full participant today, so I believe he's going to be a go this week. So he'll slot back in at left guard. And then the other one is Nicholas Petit Ferrier, who is coming off his gambling suspension because the NFL just decided they were going to change those rules midseason, and him and Jamison Williams and one other guy are coming back 3 weeks early.
oh, that's right. Okay, well,
Yeah.
there
And
you
so
go.
I don't know how he slots in because he's a started right tackle last year. He was up and down as a rookie, but the guy that's playing right tackle has been good. Has been good, solid to good, not great, like good enough. But our left tackle has been absolute dog shit. Andre Dillard has been bad, and Freer was taking reps at left tackle today. Now the question also,
Ah,
like, so he was taken first, like they were alternating. you don't know how good a shape he is in. I don't know if we'll even see him this week, if he's even ready to play yet. Like, you just don't know on that one. Skronsky's the bigger one. With you guys don't have where Tennessee's really struggled with like Cleveland and the Saints defensive line is when they just have stellar edge guys that just like blow by our tackles. Who was it for? Myles Garrett just made a mockery of Tennessee's whole franchise.
Yep. So we have Kwity Paye has played really well on the end, but he also which is great because I missed mentioning him previously on the practice report.
Oh yeah,
On
he
the
is
injury report. Yeah, he's on there with a concussion. So that puts 3 of our guys, and more importantly, someone on the end. Now we do have Dabo. He's being called Hurricane Dabo now.
Oh wow.
I have a hard time pronouncing his name, but so we do have a young guy up on the front at the end who's shown some promise in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, as it stands right now at the injury report, I'm a little concerned because
That's
on most weeks, the best part of this Colts defense, kind of like the Titans defense, is that front 4.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much of it. I tend to give a lot of it to the wrecking balls that are DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart, that they're causing a lot of havoc that then opens things up for our edge rushers. But our edge rushers, I mean, they're making plays, they're making the tackles, they're making the sacks. So you got to give them credit. I mean, Kwity Paye has done a lot of good things so far early on, but currently, no, I wouldn't say, to be honest, that we have an elite edge rusher like that. Our stuff comes from our 2 elite defensive tackles.
Yep. And that's where, for me, looking outside in, I'm like, well, that Tennessee's biggest weakness on offense is those outside guys, and Skronsky being back will help. And then we'll see. I don't think Ferrer will play unless Dillard gets blown by and they're like, screw it, like, you can't be worse type deal. He played left tackle in college. He played right tackle last year.
Might throw it in there if there's a couple of bad sacks early on. Might just be like, all right, let's see what you got.
They did do it in week 3. Dylan Radins was come back off an ACL tear, and their left guard got that was the first game. Skronsky didn't play the first 2 series. He just got mauled, and they pulled him right out and threw Radins in. Radins has played the rest of the time, and he was just coming off an ACL tear, so it's not like they won't if he's ready. Offensively, other guys for Tennessee, Josh Weil, rookie tight end. He full participation ankle. Traylon Burks did not practice again today. I don't know. Something's wrong with him. He's had a knee injury that they say it's not the same one from the preseason, but he didn't play last week. He just kind of popped up out of nowhere on the injury report and then didn't play, and he did not practice again. I don't think he's playing.
That really hurt my fantasy team, by the way.
Yeah.
I had him on my bench the week before and then decided to play him. And he had another injury. And then he just pops up out. Oh, well, he's not playing today. That's great. So
it was really weird. It came out of nowhere. A little worried. He's starting to worry me.
That's gonna be a big break for the Colts, to be honest, because we're kind of thin back there. Like I said previously, Juju Brents has played well, but now Dallas Flowers is hurt, which means we're already thin at a very thin and young position. We're a little better at safety than we are at corner, but without him there, I mean, you got DeAndre. It's just one less thing you have to worry about, I guess, when you're already kind of weak in that position.
Exactly. Yep. Titans should get Kyle Phillips, their slot receiver, back this week, who brings a little bit of a different. He's a change of pace guy. Tennessee doesn't have a receiver that can get open short yardage. That's where Kyle Phillips works the best at, is underneath routes, short yardage. He's really more of a third down specialist, but he got activated off IR this week, and they immediately released the current punt returner. So I assume that he is getting activated this week because he also returns punts, which I wish he didn't, because that's how he got hurt in preseason.
Yeah, I feel you on that one, but a valuable punt returner is so valuable.
Yeah, we signed the guy back to the practice squad, so you could theoretically do the at game day elevation and still run him at punt returner. I just he he wasn't as like he gets hurt. Like no offense to him or anything, but that's okay. Like
Right.
he doesn't play on offense. All right, so defensively, Titans got some nobody made like one major. We got two major ones. Luke Gifford didn't practice with a hamstring injury. Don't know anything about that, but hamstrings are never fun. He's our starting linebacker who's played really good this year, and then Taylor Tart with a knee injury is the guy that plays a lot next to Jeffrey Simmons. That one's kind of worrisome. I didn't know anything about him. And then their backup safety, third string corner, Elijah Molden, has a hamstring injury, limited participation. He was hurt all last year. He's one of those guys that pops up on here all the time type deal. Yep. So a couple guys a little worrisome. No guys, I assume Tar. I think they'll play. Who knows? We'll see. Type deal.
Yeah, that's fair. Speaking of who knows, we'll see. Jonathan Taylor.
Should we talk about this guy? Do you think that's important? Because everybody in Indiana right now is shut up about him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to actually play, but I feel like we have to address the fact that he is now active.
He is. He's on. He's not. Yeah. He's active. Yeah. He's just 21-day window. He's not. Yep. He's active, not on the active roster. Is that the right way to put that?
Yes, that's the right way to put that.
He's not been activated to the actual roster. So
not on the depth chart or anything
all
like
the
that.
Beat writers in Tennessee are saying the Titans expect him to play. I keep reading that.
I think it's a smart way to approach it.
You probably have to, right?
Yeah, you have to assume that the Colts' best player will play once he's available. But given the circumstances, and yes, he's healthy, but rushing him back is one of the things that led to this.
Yes, you're correct.
I don't know that rushing him back in this situation is going to make anything better. So now, if he does play, I'm thinking maybe 10 snaps. Like, I just don't think.
Kind of a light deal.
Yeah, get back in there, get into games, because he's also the kind of guy who could run one for 50 yards and have his impact that way. Like 10 carries.
Breece Hall's game one when he had the 70-yard run and then didn't have anything since. Yeah.
Yeah. He could do a little bit like that. And the Colts have been happy. It's weird to say this for me personally, because I was so frustrated at the Nyheim Hines trade, but Zach Moss has been serviceable, and he's been good enough to at least reasonably say we're not going to rush Jonathan Taylor and hand him the ball 30 times on his first week back, when he hasn't been in a game situation in almost a year at this point. And we didn't get much out of him in practice. He's been, it wouldn't make sense to me. I understand it's an important game. Again, I'm coming at this from a perspective of a Colts content creator that picked this team to win 6 games. We're in a rebuild right now. The future is more important than tomorrow, or 4 days from now as we record. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of JT, if we see him at all. But I might be in the minority there, it sounds like. But
I thought it was interesting that he got activated this week, and there's a lot of hubbub about him possibly playing, but all the preseason hype of him not wanting to play there, him wanting to be traded, him wanting a contract, nothing came back to life. Like, it was nothing brought back up this week from him or no. That was interesting.
Yeah, well, I think part of it was, I think his beef is with the front office, not with the players. I think he wants to be there with his teammates. I'm seeing some of that in the NBA, for instance. So Buddy Hield, Pacers guard / forward, couldn't come to terms. He wants to be traded. Well, during media day, he stood in the back behind all the journalists and was joking around, asking Tyrese Halliburton questions. He loves his teammates. He loves being there. Because of the playing time and the money, it's just not going to work, and he wants to be traded. But that doesn't mean he doesn't appreciate the time that he has with his current teammates. I think JT's kind of in a similar situation. It's got nothing to do with the 52 men he shares the field with, and it's got everything to do with feeling like he's being paid what he's worth and locking up a long-term contract. And for what it's worth, the Colts want to give that to him. They just always wanted to see him come back healthy and play a couple games. So I think now, given the fact that none of those trades happened, given the fact that all of these injuries have happened. So look at Miami. Devin A-Chain, hello. You think they want to trade anything for Jonathan Taylor? No.
Zero.
what can the Ravens offer? And honestly, if you're Jonathan Taylor, do you want to go to a team where all 4 running backs get hurt every year?
Yeah, that's true. They get hurt all the time.
What situations exist right now where the Colts are going to get any value that they're willing to accept for Jonathan Taylor? So his best bet, his only option really, in my opinion, is to come back, play for the Colts. Even if he doesn't want to come back, the only way he's getting a contract next year that is the contract that he wants is if he plays. Le'Veon Bell said it himself. He's come out recently saying how much he regrets how he handled that situation. It cost him lots of money. It cost him a year of his career, and a lot of other things. And when he came, he was never the same guy. When he came
went
back
to the Jets, he was never the same.
He ended up being the 3rd running back for the Chiefs at one point. You know, he's basically a practice squad guy before it was over. Yep. So I hope Jonathan Taylor understands that, his best bet is to go play for the Colts, even if it's not beyond this season. He'll go get his money then. But that's why I think we're not hearing that anymore, James. I think even his crazy agent knows at this point there's no more angle for them to play there. The only thing they can do is go show up and play a few games. And then maybe after another good game or two, they can start, talking about trades again. But right now, who's going to trade for him? So
not for what they're asking.
I hope to see that RPO, Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Woo, that's going to be nasty.
Okay, here's a fun one, Kev. And I will flip the question. You can ask me the same. How do I want to phrase this? For the Titans to beat the Colts, what has to happen?
Ooh, fun. Okay.
I'm gonna, reverse that. What is going to how do I beat your team?
The Titans beat the Colts by getting to the rookie quarterback, because while he can extend plays and he will hurt you on the ground if he gets out of the pocket and if you don't have good contain, he's still a rookie. And we've seen some improvements from our pass catchers, but it's not a strength right now of this team, in my opinion. So you get in a rookie quarterback's face, you make him make difficult throws. They're not perfect throws, and then you have a chance to make some plays there. And then I think offensively, you guys are going to feed Derrick Henry, and if that ends up working, I'd be sticking to that. But you're probably going to have to do that, and it depends on the state of your offensive line, to be honest, because I do think the Colts, our quarterback situations are exact opposite. You might have a quarterback or you're a little more comfortable with his accuracy, but he's not moving around in the way that he could a few years ago. He's not the former wide receiver uber athlete Ryan Tannehill of old.
You didn't see him try to block last week then on that Tyson Spears thing. That boy was running.
Hey, he might still have it,
the straight line speed he still got.
He ain't as fast as he once was or whatever, but
that's correct.
Give him every once in a while he'll bust it out. But so I think in order to make up for what could be a dinged up O-line, the Titans are going to have to hit the run. And then, of course, we all know after that comes the play action. You got to get Zaire Franklin's running sideline to sideline. So you got to get him going one way so you can bootleg, go out, hit Hopkins on the other end. So, that's, to me, it's pressure on the Colts quarterback. And if you can do it the way you suggested, where you're only rushing 4, if those guys are still getting home and this rookie quarterback has to make multiple reads, it's going to be a problem, because while he continues, the good thing about Anthony is he's looking downfield while he's running. He really does want to make those throws with his arm. The problem is he's not always making the best read. He's making reads and he's completing passes, but sometimes there's a better option further down the field or something like that. So if you're able to rattle him while staying and keeping a bunch of guys in coverage, that could be a good sign. But I'll put it back to you then. What will a Colts victory look like if you're walking out of the stadium like, all right, cool, Kevin, I'm glad I got to see you, but maybe wait a couple days before you talk to me again? How did that game play out?
Our offensive line falls apart. Shaq, DeForest, those guys play and they just terrorize the The offensive line we have, Skoronski either doesn't play or isn't fully back. Dillard falls apart. That's what happens on offense. So then Tannehill's just destroyed. We don't ever get Derrick Henry rush. And then defensively, it is Anthony Richardson. If he gets outside the pocket, extends plays, makes throws, runs with his legs, like I think he's the biggest question. He's probably the biggest question mark for your whole season, really.
Yeah.
Is just he's a rookie and you just don't know what you're going to get exactly. Because if he gets outside and runs wild, he could beat anybody, but he could also, like you said, be collapsed and be mauled by Tart, Simmons, Autry, and just it'd be a mess in there. So I think it's if Anthony Richardson gets free and has a heyday, and then if our offensive line doesn't continue playing like they did last week where they got a little better and they look more like the Browns, Saints, and then it's just Bears.
It'll be tough. And where Anthony's really hard to defend is in the red zone because Shane Steichen's gotten really creative on how to use him, and he's really good at I think it was last week, they ran the same play twice for a touchdown. The first time AR ran it in, the second time he hit the motion receiver. Basically, so it was an RPO, but the R was just a quarterback draw. So he could run it himself, or they basically had a bubble screen where there were two receivers out wide, one out left. The guy out left, actually, he might have been a running back who goes into motion, and he just runs basically a bubble screen. So the two wide receivers block, and then he just hits it.
Yeah.
And it's just Shane Steichen's offense with a quarterback like that can do multiple things. He gets real creative. So that's where he can be dangerous. Between the 20s, it's in those, is he breaking contain? Is he buying time and then running? But once they get in the 20s, that's when you have to worry about how many runs is Shane Steichen going to call for this guy?
Yeah.
So that's where, unlike the Ravens game, I think if Matt Gay kicks 5 field goals, I'm not thinking that the Colts win this game.
Yeah, Tennessee has scored 27 twice, which was their high last year, and they've done it 2 times in 4 games. Both their wins, they scored 27. Let's go, before we go predictions, give me non-score here, one bold prediction.
One bold prediction for me,
non-score related, not score, like the final score,
not final score.
Yeah.
The Anthony Richardson is going to connect on a deep touchdown pass. I don't know how deep. Don't quote me on it.
Could be 12 yards.
I was going to say like somewhere like 30, 40. Like they're going to connect. The one thing that Colts fans are a little bit excited about, and you touched on it earlier, James, is that the Titans secondary isn't great right now. And one of the things that the Colts have been dialing up deep plays, and the protection hasn't held together long enough. Or what's also happened is Anthony hasn't gotten through his progressions enough, or has decided to check down instead of taking the risk. But so what I'd like to see, that's sort of the next step in the evolution of this offense. Much like you mentioned, your Titans offense doing much better than last year. This Colts offense, I mean, there were several games they didn't hit 20. They're doing a lot better already this year than they were last year. So that's going to be my bold prediction. They're going to, as Randy Moss once said, take the ball deep, take the top off the defense.
Did you know that Tannehill, I think, I don't remember what the stat is, but what it comes out, he's throwing more bombs this year than he has in like 4 years. He's second in the league in like, I don't know if it's yards per attempt. There's some like stat. I'd have to really look it up, but he's number 2 at like 10 points something. They're throwing bombs. Like he's not completing a ton of them, but they are throwing it over actually, I take that back. He missed a D-Hop on a 50-yard touchdown this last game. He's got a 70-yard pass to Traylon. He's got multiple 30s to Moore. He's got the D-Hop one last game. Like, they're bombing the ball. And it's usually off play action where Tannehill's really, really good.
Yep, which is what fantastic. I'm afraid of. Yep.
And with Derrick Henry finally breaking out last game, that's what I do worry about. My bold prediction, Kev, D-Hop finally gets his first touchdown.
Ooh, there you go.
Okay. This week.
That makes sense.
He's averaging between 40 to 60 yards a game, 18 receptions in 4 games. I think he finally gets his touchdown this week. He dropped it. I think he dropped it. He was just a little too far out front last week on the flea flicker. Like, he's getting it this week.
Okay, that's reasonable to me. Knowing the Colts' defensive
Yep,
weaknesses, I could see that
I
happening.
think it's coming. I'm a big fan. All right, final part as the non-host this week.
Oh man,
Give me your stupid predictions, because if you're going to be stupid and pick the Colts, so just give it to me. Just get the stupid predictions out of the way. Oh, before we go to, have you seen this line fluctuate?
No, what is it at
Lines
now?
all over. The
I'll check.
Titans are favored again. If I
They're
look,
favored
let
again.
me pull it up. It opened with Colts favored by 1. Then less than 24 hours later, it was up to Titans 1.5. And let's pull it up. But I think as of it went back to the Colts, and it might have swung back again, because I texted somebody I know that's going to the game today. I said, "Look, you made the line move." Let's see here. It
It
is
is back to Titan. Oh, okay. On
wow.
FanDuel, Titans are 1.5.
Yeah, it's all the way back to Titans 1.5. This line has been all over the place.
I would not want to bet it. I mean, I'm glad I'll be at the game. I don't
I will.
I don't
I
tend to
wanted
bet on games that I'm at live because I got enough going on. You know, I'm not going to be on my phone when I'm in the stadium.
it opened at Colts -1.5. 1 got to Colts -1.5, dropped all the way to Tennessee -1, and it hit -2 today.
Ooh.
The line's all over the place. Like, I wanted to bet it when the Colts were favored, and I missed it, and I screwed up.
Yeah, you should have got that one in. Man, this one's tough because I am known in the Horseshoe Pride group, and honestly, as my time at Bite Size Colts, those folks will tell you too. I'm the pessimist of the Colts fans. So I'm normally the guy, you know, the rest of the folks on the panel will pick the win, and then I'll pick us to lose by 3. So then, you know, I'm usually good either way, but I feel like it would be kind of taking the easy way out here for me to predict the Titans to win, even if I think it might be what
Mm-hmm.
happens. I feel like that would not be in the spirit of this show that we're doing today. So you
Yeah,
know what?
happens on the bounce a lot. We get really agreement heavy, which is not
Yeah,
good.
we
We're not
gotta
Skip.
we gotta go here, and I'm gonna believe. All right,
You
I'm going
believe,
to
folks.
say this is going to be a 28-27 Colts victory. Both offenses are going to put on a show. We're going to get, if we get this game, first of all, James is probably going to have to crash with me wherever I'm crashing. Neither of us are driving home after that kind of a
Oh
wild
my
performance.
god. Oh my
Give
god,
me a
Kev.
1-point Colts victory at home,
You've lost your
because
mind.
I will get beat up if I go on to a Titans podcast
You
and
can't do
say that
that.
the Titans would win.
I know
I
you think
might
it. It's true.
actually, I got to look at my contract here. I don't think it's in writing, but I might get fired if I do that.
You're
So
just right. I will remind you that the Titans run the South. This is the shirt I will be wearing Sunday. Titans blow out the Colts 28-7. You added a 2 there. It doesn't exist. Titans roll. I think Tennessee's going to be pissed coming in. Division's on the line. The lead. Tennessee hasn't got a game. I think Tennessee rolls. Big time one. It's going to be fun. So we're going to see each other, Kev. We're going to meet up Touchdown Town beforehand. Me, you, and Nate, the first bite-sized meetup ever. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, Kev, where else can we find you, my friend?
you can find me with you on Thursdays right here,
Yeah.
Bite Size Sports on the bounce, talking the NBA and sometimes college hoops, FIBA, WNBA, all that stuff with our man Keebler. And you can also find us, you can find me on Mondays occasionally on Sportsbook Junkies with Nate and Keebler as well. James and I are on our sister network Wednesdays talking Star Wars on Han Shot First. And you can also catch me when I'm not here talking about the Colts on Bite Size Colts. You can catch me on the Horseshoe Pride podcast. Find our YouTube channel, Horseshoe Pride, or log into the PSF app, the Pro Sports Fans app, and check us out. I do live commentary with any collection. There's 6 of us over at Horseshoe Pride, so we do live commentary. There's anywhere from 1 to 6 of us live, so it's a good time, a lot of fun to be had if you are a Colts fan, or hey, if you're a Titans fan and you want to give us shit, listen, you won't be the first.
It won't be the last.
We've danced with some Texans fans before, so
Ooh, yeah.
if I can handle
That's
shit from
disgusting.
them, then of course I'll deal with it from you.
The Texans fans, that's gross. Like, can we just
Act like
agree
you've been
they are?
somewhere,
Yeah, they're the redheaded stepchild of this group. Like, get out of here. Shoo. Shalom. Mazel tov.
I got for me with Titans fans, it's all fun and games. It's like I'll talk shit to you this week, and then later when we play again, I'll talk shit to you that week. But some of these Texans fans, man, the ones that aren't respectful, I'm just like, bro. I mean, come on, man.
Like, really, come on.
You're 2-2 for the first time in franchise history, and you're gonna just start talking a bunch of shit. I don't understand it.
Yeah, leave us alone, please. Leave us big boys alone, please.
Yeah.
I mean, you covered all mine. You catch me every Thursday with You The Bounce on Wednesday nights. Han Shot First, Star Wars, and then usually twice a week. I'm kind of have been traveling a lot, so I got once a week for Bite Size Titans, Bite Size Colts for you. Obviously, go Titans this week. Colts suck. I do love Touchdown Town because their beers are $3. That's fun. So,
hey,
Kev,
let's go.
As the non-host of today, thank you for joining me. We will see you on Saturday, my friend.
That's right. Well, we'll see y'all. Yeah. Well, follow us on Instagram.
Sunday.
Follow us on it. Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday.
I said Saturday. Oof, that was bad.
I'll be in Indy on Saturday though, but that'll be a whole different thing. I'll be talking about wrestling. But follow us on Instagram if you want some live footage from both sides of the fence.
Oh yeah,
Titans and Colts. All right.
Yeah, that actually will be. That is, we're gonna have contradicting.
We'll be fighting for bandwidth on the on Instagram.
Yeah,
no, I'm posting now.
You're gonna have Nate in the middle just shaking his head.
We have Nate grab James's phone.
Right, exactly.
So I can get my post out. Yeah, it'll be great, guys. Make sure you don't miss it.
Okay, it's gonna be good. So, Kev, we will see you Sunday, buddy. And that